rain jackets, plant cuttings, what to do with old clothes. Here are your sustainable brands and tips for this week. Chili con carne is this week's dinner challenge. How spicy do you like yours? I'm a medium kind of spice kind of gal. The husband Charlie likes it hotter than I, and if he's made it, I always get a really attractive sweaty tash. Anyway, here's 3 tips on how you can make your chili con carne a bit more sustainable. Easiest tip you can do is buy your onions and garlic loose. Do not buy them in those horrible plastic nets that you cannot recycle. A second tip for you is rice. Now there's lots and lots of refillable shops popping up. We are very lucky in Brighton, we have a number of them. And rice is one of the cheapest things that you can get there. It's very, very competitive compared to your local supermarket. So all you do is you take your container, it could be a jar, it could be a bag, it could be a sock, and you fill it up with as much rice as you can get in there. Now, if you aren't lucky enough to have a refillable shop near you, the best thing you can do is buy in bulk. It works out cheaper and it tends to be less packaging too. The final thing you can do is focus on the carne, more like sin carne, muchachos. There's a really good book that I like. My dad bought it for me a few Christmases ago by Leah van der Helt. I always want to say Van Helsing. And she has a recipe in here for butternut squash and black bean chili, and it is absolutely delicious. So instead of meat, she has chopped up little cubes of butternut squash and a tin of black beans, and it is really filling and satisfying and nutritious. So there you go. Buy your onions and garlic loose, try and get bulk buy or loose rice, and then swap your meat for something like butternut squash and black beans. The brand who I think are bossing it this week are Labo Mono. These guys make rain jackets that are made from recycled bottles. Each jacket comes from 30 bottles. They're really colourful, they're really bold, they're a bit different, and Ali, who is the founder and designer, has really put a lot of thought into what functions these jackets have. So typically they have a hood that you can tuck away. They also can be tucked, the whole jacket can be folded away in a bag. They've also got a zip down the armpit that reveals some mesh. So if you are like smashing it on the bike and you're getting hot, this is a really good way to help cool down. They have double layers, so they've got this mesh layer underneath the waterproof layer, so it's really breathable. On the cuffs, they've got a reversible, reflective cuff. They've also got pockets in the sleeves and in the jackets. And there isn't really a great deal they haven't thought of. With the hoods, what makes them extra cool is there's 3 different ways of tightening them. So you can put them over a bike helmet, or if you're not wearing a bike helmet, you can get them closer and more snug to your face, which is brilliant. Ali has made absolutely sure that the guys that he has chosen to manufacture his jackets are doing things in the right way, and then they're looking after their staff, to the point where after he'd made his shortlist and decided on the factory he wanted to go with, he actually physically went over to China and met everybody there and saw how happy they were and saw their work conditions. And he's got some great photos and a really great blog on the website too. And what they also do, as well as look after their people, is they collect any trimmings and turn them into little repair kits. So Labo Mono, check them out. Their jackets are awesome. Their moral compass is pointing in the right direction. So Labo Mono, bossing it. Tip of the week, plant cuttings. You may have seen my recent Instagram post about this. So this is a devil's ivy plant, and this literally came from a leaf. And all it was is it fell off the big plant, and I put it in water to see what happens, and this is what happened. It's amazing. And I've looked into it a little bit more about, intentional plant cuttings, and all you do is, if you've got a big plant and you want to grow a little baby plant, you cut it just below this little knobby bit, this little notchel, and plant it in water and watch it grow. And I've been told that this definitely needs to be transferred into soil now and repotted, and then I can start my little devil's ivy family. The reason why this is so great is because it costs you absolutely nothing. And horticulture, sadly, there's a lot of like single-use plastic with all the pots. So anybody that reuses the pots, like, I salute you. And if you can avoid, buying plants altogether and just starting your own little babies, then even better. Packed lunches. If you're going to work or your kids are going to school, how do you pack yours? Are they in a plastic container? Do you use cling film, tin foil? Well, a company called Minty are going to be my love local this week because they got sick of having plastic containers that either absorb the smell of your food that you might have reheated or warped in the dishwasher and potentially had nasty chemicals that can contaminate our food. They also got sick of using cling film, which is, one of the worst single-use plastics. And tin foil is not really ideal either. So they spent a long time working out what would be the ideal lunchbox. And this is where the product was born. They are stainless steel lunchboxes. They can have little compartments. They've got little pots that fit in them. They've got lots of different sizes. And they're just a really cool, really cleverly thought out, simple idea. So check them out. Their range is wicked. Our local shop, Harriet's of Hove, also sell them. But you can buy them in a bunch of retailers and you can see where they are on their website. So Minty, nice work. When we have a bit more time on our hands, we tend to have a bit of a sort out. We kind of nest in our homes. And a thing that a lot of us will probably have done this year, if not recently, is have a good old rummage through our wardrobes and our cupboards and chucked out some clothes. Now, we as a nation get through over a million tons of clothes every year, and we throw away the equivalent every year. So how do you get rid of yours? Now, while the charity shops are closed in particular, a good thing to do is firstly, don't be ashamed. Let your mates and let your family know and say, hey, I've got a few bags of clothes. Before I get rid of them, do you want to have a look through? Because there might be loads of stuff, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Secondly, anything that's still pretty decent, try and sell it, get some money back. Put it on Facebook Market, put it on Gumtree. You never know what you might get for it. And then thirdly, is you take it to a clothes bin. Now, a lot of the charity clothes bins are absolutely crammed, and charity shops can only take so much. And although I still really encourage that to happen, another great alternative is Soex. Now, Soex will take all clothes and all shoes, no matter what the condition. And what they do is all the re-wearable stuff, they'll send off to 70 different countries in need. And then all the stuff that isn't really re-wearable, they turn it into a secondary use. So they'll like mash it all up and turn it into other sort of textiles. You will definitely have recognised their bins around. They're often in car parks and supermarkets. So when you're throwing clothes away, or before you do, see if your friends and family are interested in having a rummage. Try and sell some of them on eBay or Gumtree or Facebook Market, and then take the rest to a clothes bin like Soex. Pip and Nut are my, fancy that. Now these glorious nut butter makers are doing something extra lovely this year. They have joined forces with Hackney Food Banks, and for every pot of their nut butter bought, they will donate one to Hackney Food Bank. What a simple idea and very commendable. I've never tried their nut butters, but I know a lot of people who rate them highly. So if you want to do something a little bit warm and fuzzy this year, a pip and nut jar, will donate a pip and nut jar to Hackney Food Bank. Nice. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I'm on all social media channels. And if you have any questions, please just ask. And if you have any brands you'd like me to feature, then please do let me know.